Welcome back to Poppy Patterns. Today we have this baby bib and bandana pattern that I'm giving to you for free if you want to sign up for my newsletter. The link will be in the description. It'll have everything you need, the pattern, the tutorial, list of supplies, all your materials that you need. It'll all of that info will be in that email. So this video is kind of just going to be an overview, a quick video of basically going along with that pattern. And in the first few moments here, you see me kind of just cutting out all of my materials. I'm using this muslin gauze, a terry cloth, and a little bit of twill tape. I'm using like a 1/4 inch twill tape for this project. I like using the twill tape. It helps add stability to where the snaps will go, so that way when you're snapping and unsnapping, chances are you're going to try to do it quickly if you're a mom or a dad or anyone and you're trying to take care of your little and you need to get them out quickly. Sometimes you don't care about the integrity of snaps, so that helps reinforce that area just a little bit stronger for you. It's important to note that this bib, you see the mirror, the way that the bib pattern is, both pieces are a mirror of each other. That's important for when you're stitching it together. You don't want them facing the same direction, otherwise that twill tape will be on the wrong side. You can use that pattern for the snap placement. I have my not so fancy snap plier that I am 50-50 about it. It's nice that I have it, but I don't exactly love this particular one. I wouldn't recommend it. I know there are fancier ones on the market, so this one, it gets the job done, but I'm not gonna lie, I messed up so many times. I don't know if you noticed, but I try to wiggle the snaps before I move on to the next one, just to make sure that they're really enforced in the proper placement. And then I take the wrong sides together, if you saw that, wrong sides together and pin in place. So that way you're stitching all the way around the entire exterior of that bib to kind of sandwich those two pieces together. And I use maybe like a 1/4 inch seam allowance. Now here I am taking the border of that bib. I am folding it in half and then folding it again so that the raw edges are encased inside of that fabric. You can use binding tape if you prefer. I almost would recommend using binding tape over this method, only because it's more stretchy and pliable, but this particular fabric is more of a gauze fabric, so it's very flexible to begin with. And since I didn't use bias tape, I used an excessive amount of pins, so yeah, there's so many on there. And when you get to that top of your bib corner, I guess is that's called, you can fold the end down and inside of that corner, so that way when you sew everything, it's kind of encased in there really nicely, if you can see that top corner. And then once you have everything pinned in place, you can go around and stitch that all the way around. I like to push my needle all the way to the left and get as close to that edge as possible. And I try to get both layers in the first try, but I do like also going over it again with a second stitch. You can use a twin needle if you have one and you're fancy. But anyways, we're moving on. Now we're starting with the bandana. I like to pin each corner into place since it kind of might move around on you a little bit. And if you see those two white pins instead of the yellow ones, I'm going to keep that area open. I'm not going to stitch that closed. And that gives me somewhere to pull the fabric right side out. And I did about a 1/4 inch, or no, excuse me, I did about a 1/2 inch seam allowance on this project. And then I like to use a point turner and kind of poke those corners out. It takes a little bit of elbow grease because it's, soft fabric and I don't want to poke it through. And then I press the fabric down and top stitch all the way around, closing that 2-inch opening. And then for the trim, if you're making this with some kind of trim, I will fold under one side and then go down and pin and kind of fold at an angle that corner and pin up to the top. And then you can either do a straight stitch, but this one I would probably do like a zigzag stitch. I'm not doing that for this project because I'm making it for a little boy, and I felt like that ivory trim was a little feminine. So even though it's cute, it didn't feel like the right vibe. And then I add the placement with my disappearing ink. I add the placement for those snaps and I put them in place. I definitely, I don't know, I had to edit out quite a bit of my plier work because I do not like those pliers. Send me a comment if you have plier recommendations, because I'm in the market. I do 2 on one side, 2 of the pokey on one side, and then the innie, I guess, on the other side, so you can make adjustable sizes for the baby that you plan to have wearing it. Anyways, I feel like I babbled. Here's your pattern. Here's your cute bib. Here's your cute bandana. It's all finished and ready to be packaged up for any baby. Thanks so much, you guys. Like, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.